With the end event just around the corner, I saw it fit to do a top 8 list of all the Chapter 2 seasons. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe because, well, Sony Vegas is hard to learn, so yeah.
Come on, please, Lord, just give me a like.
Starting off at my number 8 spot is Chapter 2 Season 1. While this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, Chapter 2 Season 1 is one of the slowest, longest, and most boring seasons of all time. At first, of course, everybody was freaking out with the inclusion of a new map, and the new map is fantastic. People, I think, don't give enough credit to it. However, Chapter 2 Season 1 was just very slow. There was barely any updates. All we really got was the harpoon gun and Winterfest. I remember this being my longest break from Fortnite, and barely being excited for Chapter 2 Season 2. But we'll get there. But anyways, Chapter 2 Season 1 had a pretty cool battle pass, and honestly a really cool weapon pool. But it was just the lack of updates, the lack of content, and the map looking exactly the same that just didn't rub me the right way. I enjoyed Chapter 2 Season 1 at the beginning, as did everybody, because seeing a new map was insane. But overall, they could have done a lot better with it. Now I understand that there was delays and whatnot, but Chapter 2 Season 1 even marked the only live event I never went to, the Star Wars event, which just felt like a cheap commercial, to be honest. Either way, it was a still decent way to start off the chapter, and I know they are figuring things out. So, Chapter 2 Season 1, rest in peace. Now this one might make me sound a little bit biased, but Chapter 2 Season 5 is marked so low just because of the fact that my computer wasn't running it very well. Every time I'd look at the 0 point, I'd get stutters, and it was very annoying. I noticed it at the beginning of the season, right after the Marvel one, where I couldn't even run the game at low settings or even MUD graphics without it stuttering like crazy. Now it was playable to some degree, but just the in-game lobby and the battle bus experience and even landing and looking at the 0 point period was just so annoying. I did get a very high level in this season, and the battle pass was honestly really cool. Condor, Menace, Lexa, I feel like those are insane skins. There's a few I'm missing, but you get the idea. And even Mandalorian as an inclusion was pretty cool. I know a lot of people didn't like Baby Yoda as tier 100, but either way it was still neat. Also, the inclusion of the lever action shotgun was pretty wicked. Still a gun I use to this day, and is very interesting. But another thing about Chapter 2 Season 5, the lack of updates just seemed pretty annoying. All we really got were collabs, and even though we got cool things like Snake Eyes, Ryu, and Chun-Li, it just seemed lackluster, and there just wasn't enough. Once again, back to the Star Wars event ideology, it just seemed like one big commercial. So I was really excited for the next season. Even with all these complaints, I must add that the map changes this season were fabulous. Salty Towers is one of the coolest map changes in the Chapter 2 map, along with the Colosseum and all the desert. Also, sand tunneling was just fantastic. I found it out as a surprise when I was standing still emoting, and I was like, holy crap, that's insane. The gravity crystals were also really cool, and I did like the inclusion of the tactical AR, which is still my favorite gun to this day. It's just so satisfying to reload that thing. So Chapter 2 Season 5 was decent. I can't discredit it for its lack of performance on my computer, because looking back, it's still one really cool season. Coming in next is Chapter 2 Season 6. Now this season, I know a lot of people really didn't like it, and it was a huge low for Chapter 2 because of crafting. It just felt slow, and no one really liked the primal aspect of it. However, when I logged in on the first day, I was super pleased to see a completely new Fortnite, animals running around, a new crafting system, just a lot of things to tinker around with and toy with. Chapter 2 Season 6 was still pretty cool. I did like the inclusion of bows, because personally I'm not a really big fan of snipers, as I like looking out of my box and just feeling safe when I do so. Either way, Chapter 2 Season 6 introduced crafting, which a lot of people didn't like, because it made the game seem slow, and if you had a makeshift gun, you were really in the shitter. Either way, Epic Games implemented a lot of fixes around this, and did a lot of good community interaction throughout the season. They spent a lot of time fixing it, which I felt is very important for the community to realize. They did a good job of keeping updates fresh too. Now the Battle Pass was kinda meh this season. I really hated Neymar Jr. in the Battle Pass. That should have just been a shop skin. Raven was alright, and Spire Assassin is one of the worst tier 100 skins ever, but either way, it was still pretty cool. A lot of storyline stuff, and the beginning live event at the start of the season was cool, but a lot of my buddies really just wanted to skip it to play the game, which I understand. They're not really into the storyline. Either way, Chapter 2 Season 6 was still really cool. I did like the primal aspect of it, and I still love animals to this day. Now, this next season can only be summarized by one word. Aliens. Okay, so Chapter 2 Season 7. This season was honestly really cool. At the start of the season, we got treated to UFOs and the massive Independence Day-like UFO hovering over the island. But see, this season just seemed unbalanced. Things like the railgun and the recon scanner were kinda nuts, but I don't think Epic really addressed them too much. Either way, it was still a super fun season. I'm not shitting on it at all. The inclusion of things in the Battle Pass like Superman and Rick and Morty, and even storyline characters like Dr. Sloan were really cool, and the Chimera was very ambitious, even though it's pretty ugly. Either way, I did get a lot of use in the Battle Pass with like Sunny and whatnot. Also, the mechanics this season were just incredible. I did like the snipers coming back, but you know me, I'm like 50-50 with snipers. I'm not really a fan of them, but I still don't mind them in the game. I know my buddy really likes them. Either way, Chapter 2 Season 7 had a lot of really fun updates besides the map. The map just seemed very lackluster, and being somebody who enjoys map changes, this was kind of upsetting for me. Either way, Chapter 2 Season 7 did include things like the UFO and the Gravitron. They were really cool inclusions, and also Operation Skyfire was a really sick live event. I went with my nephew and brother, and honestly, it was a super cool experience. Chapter 2 Season 7 was also a summer season, so it included things like chug splashes and even frickin' Ferraris. Ferraris were wicked. I feel like the collabs weren't too crazy this season, which was also really nice. I like getting original Fortnite content. Either way, I love you, Chapter 2 Season 7. You're gonna be missed. Alright, now we're on Chapter 2 Season 8. So Chapter 2 Season 8 has actually been a blast. At first, I was pretty disappointed by the map changes. It was just the UFOs around the map. But a couple days into the season, one of my buddies regarded it as like, oh cool, like we finished the game here. It looks like a whole ass different game. I wish like there was more that changed. And it happened. So through the season, the cubes activated with the golden cube and moved toward the center, created an area called the convergence. And then after a while, the convergence turned into the pyramid. So ranking this season so high on the list is solely because of the content that was added. Not in the terms of the battle pass, because the battle pass was actually no, the battle pass was all right. It was like hit or miss. Like I do like skins like Charlotte and Tunafish, and even Torrent's pretty cool. Fabio's all right. It's just that a lot of them just seemed mediocre. Like Core just seemed like a rehash. JB Chimpanski just seemed like a whatever skin. Wasn't really a good meme skin like Agent Peely, and Carnage was pretty cool. At first, I thought the Cube Queen was atrocious, but being somebody who is invested in the storyline, the Cube Queen actually interests me a lot. And I'm excited to see what she does in, wow, 3 days from now. But back to what I was saying. So, the map itself, I think, changed a decent amount, especially because they were working on the Chapter 3 map, or whatever map they're doing, Reality Zero map or whatever. We'll find out in a few days. But I feel like they did a fantastic job with what they had time to do, and I'm really excited to see the live event. If the live event is good, this season could very well be in top 3. But another cool thing about the season was the loot pool. I really liked the community interaction, like voting for items, the mech coming back even as like a meme. It's still a fun thing to use, and yeah, it's still fun to screw around with. The mounted turrets were cool to see around the map. It was just an overall cool season, just a thing for the community to come together to stop one force, the Cube Queen. And in like the teaser trailer, you see somebody from Save the World, the Battle Pass, the crew, and the item shop, like all coming together from every corner of Fortnite to join to fight the Queen. So the season's been really cool. I do love community things. I don't love that Coral Castle's still on the map, but who does? Alright, coming up next is Chapter 2 Season 4. Now, I thought we would have saved all reality already if we could defeat Galactus, but the Cube Queen seems to be a little bit more of a problem. Okay, so Chapter 2 Season 4 is the Marvel season, a whole season full of collabs, and I know I addressed that I'm not a fan of collabs, but when Fortnite does it right, it's really cool. Now, the Marvel season included a lot of really wicked mythics, and even though a lot of people think they're busted, I actually think they're not too bad. I remember having a lot of fun with the group ball, the Unibeam, and Dr. Doom's hand cannons. They weren't too bad. It even included a really cool casual mode called Marvel Knockout. Marvel Knockout was actually a lot of fun with the guys, and I do have some old clips of it. Either way, the Marvel season was alright. It reminded me a lot of Chapter 2 Season 2 because it was like good guys versus bad guys, and a lot of ass whooping that was actually just really cool. Either way, the Battle Pass was also really cool. And the gun inclusions of like the combat shotgun coming back at first were really awesome. But I was really more focused on the mythics. The mythics were sick, the Stark drones were cool, and Stark Industries is one of the coolest map changes to this date. I love Chapter 2 Season 4, and the Galactus event was just the most hype thing in the world. Being a part of an event that brought a lot of people back to Fortnite was just really cool, and the hype leading up to it, like I said before, was awesome. I feel I should also address more the Battle Pass. Tier 100 as Tony Stark was just really awesome, and Thor is a skin I still use to this day. Other things like the built-in emotes that you do by completing challenges was just really cool. And the gliders that were custom to the characters were awesome, but they do give me OCD. Like, I'd love to use Mjolnir with another character, even though I have Captain America, but it would still look cool on somebody else. Alright, coming in at the runner-up spot, the Fortnite map has been flooded. Chapter 2 Season 3 was honestly such a breath of fresh air. After being delayed for so long for external reasons, Chapter 2 Season 3 was just a boom to my brain. Chapter 2 Season 1 and Chapter 2 Season 2 were very tame seasons, and Chapter 2 Season 3 brought back a lot of the fun of Fortnite. I remember waking up at 5 in the morning and seeing the trailer, and just seeing cars driving, and my mind was blown. Even seeing Midas get eaten by a shark was hilarious. That's another thing, the loot sharks were a really cool inclusion, and especially at the beginning of the season, when the water was flooding the entire map, the loot sharks were terrifying. You'd be swimming along and you'd hear the Jaws music and you'd be like, oh my god, it's gonna happen. One thing I didn't like about this season was the charged shotgun, but that was combated by just taking the tack instead. The charged shotgun to this day is just a meh gun. I would never take it myself, and I know a lot of the community feels the same. The battle pass as well was also really cool. I did like Fade a lot, and I loved Ocean. Ocean's a skin I still use to this day as well. Either way, this season didn't have a live event, but it had a cool comic book teaser toward the, Marvel season. So it was pretty interesting at the end there. It was also super short, and with a lot of consistent updates, cool items, and even the old mythical bosses. This season will always be one of the best. And last but not least, Chapter 2 Season 2. Now, I did talk about it before that because of the awfulness that is Season 1, I just wasn't hyped for this season. And at first, when I started playing it, I was like, oh boy, it's just Chapter 2 Season 1 all over again. But when I logged in that day and I saw the secret agents and the helicopter and the boat and just the really wicked battle pass and the inclusion of awesome guns like heavy snipers, I was blown away. I missed all that stuff. And also the mythical bosses were just super cool. Seeing NPCs roaming around the map where you get high risk, high reward factor was just really cool. It also included really awesome POIs like the yacht, the shark, the grotto, the rig, the agency. It just blew my mind. And Deadpool being a secret battle pass skin was just incredible. That was before Fortnite did a lot of collabs, so that honestly blew me away as well. The season also lasted super long, like Chapter 2 Season 1. However, it did have the thing going for it that the pandemic was around and there was external political issues as well. So I did respect the delays. However, Chapter 2 Season 2 as a whole was just really awesome. The helicopters, the loot pool, just the memories playing with my nephew for the first time. It was really awesome. It was his first full season and I ended up getting him the battle pass, and just it was really cool seeing him rock Agent Peely. And near the end of the season, when the device event happened, it blew everybody's mind away to go into a first-person perspective. And when the water storm came in and the 3 days, and it was so cool. 3 days of just a crazy storm. At first, I thought it was gonna stay that way, and I was like, oh boy, Chapter 2 Season 3 is just gonna be another rehash, a reskin. They're getting really lazy. But they blew me away, as you guys know. That is why, in my opinion, Chapter 2 Season 2 is the best season of Chapter 2. It blew me away with its awesome content and just has so many memories involved with it. I really hope Chapter 3 Season 1 brings that nostalgia, because Chapter 2 Season 1 just didn't. This season is the season I'm nostalgic for, and I really hope that gets captured again. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Chapter 2 as a whole. Overall, it was a really good chapter, and I feel like people don't give it enough credit. Chapter 1 obviously is very nostalgic, and I understand that, but Chapter 2 did do a lot of ballsy moves, and it really introduced a lot of awesome features. Chapter 3 I hope does the same, and I hope mechs stay, because I love mechs so much, and Coral Castle better be on the map. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. It's my first time doing a commentary video, so please go easy on me. Either way, it's my opinion, and I'd really like to hear yours in the comments. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. And share it with your buds, why not? Have a good day and be sure to tell somebody you love them.